Sarvadharma Sthapakatvam Sarvadharma Swarupakaha Acharyanam Mahacharyo Ramakrishna Te Namaha. O establisher of all the faiths, embodiment of all the religions, the greatest teacher among all the teachers, O Sri Ramakrishna, my salutations to you. Namaste, Pranam. The path of Vedanta is beyond the reach of ordinary man. That is what Sri Ramakrishna had told us in our previous learning. When Sri Manimalik told Sri Ramakrishna about his meeting with a monk at Banaras and what that monk had told Sri Manimalik, that no religious experience is possible without the control of sense organs. Unless one has the self-mastery, unless one has the self-restraint, unless one has the self-control, forbearance, nothing is possible. Simply crying, God, God, God is not going to take you anywhere. That is what the monk in Banaras had told him. And Sri Ramakrishna had commented on that is also a path. But these type of teachers, they are the followers of Vedanta. They practice Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya. For them, only Brahman is the reality. Everything else is illusion. And Sri Ramakrishna says, this concept is extremely difficult for ordinary people to comprehend, to understand. We cannot say, I am illusion. I know I am there. I know I am alive. How can I say I am illusion? If you say everything else is illusion, even the Guru becomes illusion. The word of the Guru, the words with which the Guru has given you spiritual instructions, those words also become illusion. Everything becomes illusion. Then what is the reality? You cannot just simply understand that statement of Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya. That is for different category of aspirants. Those who have complete control over body consciousness, those who have complete restraint on the the sense organs, those who have complete self-control, they can practice that path. But ordinary people, they have to follow the path of devotion. And then Sri Ramakrishna had given that beautiful example. The path of Vedantic the practices is like burning camphor. You burn camphor, you don't find any traces that anything was burnt. Nothing remains. Because Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya, everything vanishes. After Brahman, after realization of Brahman, this entire creation vanishes. Because of the realization that everything else is an illusion, everything else is unreal. Only Brahman is the ultimate reality. But the other practices, the devotional practices, the yogic practices, they are like burning wood. You burn the wood, most of the wood will get burned, but at least we get traces of ash to know that yes, there was something earlier. After the devotional practices, after the yogic practices, one gets that experience. Oh, I have seen my devotee, I have had the vision, I have seen my Lord, I have seen my Divine Mother, I have touched the lotus feet of my Lord, I have touched the lotus feet of my Divine Mother. Those experiences, they remain as the ash is left behind after burning the wood. Then Sri Ramakrishna says, but after the last analysis, even this ash, it flies away. Then nothing remains. But till such time, we have that ultimate realization of me and my chosen ideal are nothing but one. Everything else is gone. Then that realization dawns. That yes, now is the Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya. But it is extremely difficult for ordinary men to take that path as such. They will also ultimately end up, after the ash of that burnt wood flies away. But that is the last stage, that is the last analysis. Before that, one has to practice, one has to cry, God, God, God. What that the Vedantist had told, Vedantist monk had told Manimalik. So Sri Ramakrishna, he now says that yes, there are people of such kind of knowledge. There are great knowers. There are great knowers of this truth. And then Sri Ramakrishna tells about one such Pandit he had met himself, Pandit Padmalochan. Pandit Padmalochan was a court Pandit of the Maharaja of Burdwan. Now Sri Ramakrishna is telling all these devotees who have gathered in his room and listening to his nectarine words. He starts telling them about this Pandit. Padmalochan was a man of deep wisdom. He had great respect for me. Now, although he was a Vedantist, he respected Sri Ramakrishna's devotional moods also. He had a great respect for me, though at that time I constantly repeated the name of Divine Mother. Now, normally the Vedantists, they don't appreciate the devotional aspirants chanting the name of God, chanting the name of their chosen deities. For them, it is Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya. No word is there, everything else is illusory. But Sri Ramakrishna says, although Sri Ramakrishna, when he was undergoing that his sadhana, phase of sadhana, the spiritual practices he was following, at that time he had met Pandit Padmalochan. And Sri Ramakrishna says, at that time, although I had this tendency of chanting the name of Divine Mother, Padmalochan had great respect for me. He was the court Pandit of Maharaja of Burdwan. Once he came to Calcutta and went to live in a garden house near Kamarhati. Kamarhati is a small suburb near Calcutta. Padmalochan had come down from Burdwan and he was staying at the garden house of Kamarhati. And now Sri Ramakrishna is telling further. I felt a desire to see him and sent Hriday there to learn if the Pandit had any vanity. Sri Ramakrishna wanted to know what is the nature of this Pandit. So he sent his nephew Hriday to meet Pandit Padmalochan and get to know whether he had any vanity, whether he was arrogant, whether he had pride. And I was told that he had none. They came and reported, no, he seems to be a very true and genuine knower of the spiritual realization. Then I met him, Sri Ramakrishna says. Then I met him. Though a man of great knowledge and scholarship, he began to weep on hearing me sing Ramprasad's devotional songs. Now, this was a typical way of Sri Ramakrishna. Whenever he used to go to meet such Pundits, such knowers of ultimate truth, he would get into that spiritual fervor. And he started singing the songs of that great spiritual aspirant Ramprasad. He was a great knower of the ultimate reality. Himself a devotee of Ma Kali. Ramprasad had written so many songs on Ma Shama, Ma Kali, and Sri Ramakrishna loved those songs. So Sri Ramakrishna came and met Padmalochan, and during the course of this meeting, he started singing the songs. Now, Padmalochan, a man of the path of Vedanta, seeing Sri Ramakrishna singing the glories of the Divine Mother Ramprasad songs, Padmalochan also started weeping, shedding tears after listening to Sri Ramakrishna singing and realizing that even through the such singing, one can attain to the ultimate God realization. One can attain to what I have attained through my Vedantic practices. Though a man of great knowledge and scholarship, he began to weep on hearing me sing Ramprasad's devotional songs. And like that Pandit in Banaras, he had kind of looked down upon this way of worshipping, crying, God is not going to take you anywhere. You must have self-restraint. You must have complete control over the senses. Only then you can have religious experience. That is what that monk has said. Now, Padmalochan, although he also walked on the same path of Vedanta, listening Sri Ramakrishna's devotional singing, he also started shedding tears. Normally, the Vedantists, they don't get into this emotional attitude at all. They consider the devotees who shed tears, who dance, who sing the divine name. They consider them to be good for nothing. But Padmalochan, although a man of great wisdom, although a man of self realization, the moment Sri Ramakrishna started singing the song of Ramprasad, he also started shedding tears. And then Sri Ramakrishna says, we talked together a long time. Conversation with nobody else gave me such satisfaction. Pandit Padmalochan, he appreciated Sri Ramakrishna's experiences which Ramakrishna was narrating to him of his vision of the Divine Mother, of his spiritual practices, of his austerities, the sadhana that. So, must have been a very interesting conversation. If the person was not tuned to the path of devotion, he would have got bored. But Sri Ramakrishna says, we spoke, we exchanged our views for a long time, and the conversation was such a great satisfaction. Sri Ramakrishna says, such satisfaction I got from no other conversation with any other person. And then he said to me, Sri Ramakrishna says, Pandit Padmalochan, he said to me that give up the desire for the company of devotees. Otherwise, people of all sorts will come to you and make you deviate from your spiritual ideal. Padmalochan kind of advised Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna had great yearning to be with the devotees, to share his experiences, to share his teachings, and somehow bring illumination in their lives. Illumine those spiritual aspirants so that they can lead on the path of spirituality, they can lead on the path of enlightenment. That was always Sri Ramakrishna's yearning. So Padmalochan told him, don't seek the devotees, don't yearn for the devotees, because once people come to you, all sorts of people, good and bad, the seekers and not so serious seekers, they will come to you and you will deviate from your spiritual path. Unfortunately, at that time, maybe Padmalochan was not aware of the spiritual greatness of Sri Ramakrishna, but still he had great reverence for Sri Ramakrishna, for he knew that he is a true spiritual aspirant. And then Sri Ramakrishna says that at one point of time, I mean, Padmalochan was a great man of wisdom for that matter, once entered into a controversy by correspondence with Utshavananda. Utshavananda is Vaishnavcharan's guru. Vaishnavcharan was another realized soul. His guru, Utshavananda, Padmalochan went into a controversy and started debating with him through correspondence. Of course, they never met personally. So that was the tendency of Padmalochan, that he always wanted to give instruction to people around. Once he told me of an interesting incident. Now this incident, incidentally, Sri Ramakrishna has told us earlier also. Once a meeting was called to decide which of the two deities, Śiva or Brahma, was the greater. Unable to come to any decision, the Pundits at last referred the matter to Padmalochan. There was great debate, there was great conflict going on between two kind of groups. Who is greater? Śiva is greater or Brahma is greater? This discussion went on and on and on, and they could never arrive at a conclusion. Now, who is going to decide whether Śiva is great or the Brahman is great? So they all came to Padmalochan to seek some kind of a solution to this controversy. Unable to come to any decision, the Pundits at last referred the matter to Padmalochan. With a characteristic guilelessness. Now, Padmalochan is a very simple person at heart. Although a man of great wisdom, He was so simple, he was guileless. He's plainly told this debating pundits, these warring pundits, one group saying Shiva is great, another group saying Brahma is great. With all the guilelessness, what did Padmalochan told these pundits? How do I know? Neither I nor any of my ancestors back to the 14th generation have seen Shiva or Brahma. About they have not seen either Shiva or Brahma. I have not seen. None of my ancestors to the lineage of 14 generations, they have seen Shiva or Brahma. So how can I comment whether Shiva is great or Brahma is great? So he gave his verdict that I don't know anything. You keep on fighting. Or better you resolve your fight, because none of us we have seen what is Shiva, none of us we have known what is Brahma. So better to give up this fight of who is greater, Shiva or Brahma. So that was how Padmalochan, he can resolve that issue among those warring factions. That I don't know anything. I have not seen Shiva. I have not seen Brahma. And then Sri Padmalochan also gave some kind of advice to Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna always used to teach about renunciation of woman and gold, about renunciation of lust and greed. To that, Padmalochan had given some kind of advice to Sri Ramakrishna. He says, about the renunciation of woman and gold, he said to me one day, why have you given up those things? Such distinctions as this is money and that is clay are outcome of ignorance. Now, Sri Ramakrishna, during the course of his spiritual sadhana, he had come to this realization that it is only the lust and greed which is drawing people to worldliness and drowning them in this whirlpool of attraction of the worldliness. And therefore he himself, he had conducted this as a spiritual practice, this as the austerity, that taking a coin in one hand and taking clay in another hand, Sri Ramakrishna had thrown them both into the Ganges. That taka mati, mati taka. There is no difference between the money, taka is money. There is no difference, the money and clay. Clay and money, they are all insignificant for this path of realization. Money can't take you anywhere. The clay can't take you anywhere. You have to go beyond money and clay. That was the spiritual practice that Sri Ramakrishna had followed. And having given up money and clay, Sri Ramakrishna could never touch money all through his life. That also we have seen once in one of the teachings, that how Sri Ramakrishna, he used to get pain like a scorpion has bitten him if he touched money. So Vaishnavcharan, the Padmalochan kind of was telling Sri Ramakrishna, why you are getting into all this? This is not good. This will, they all such saying that taka mati, mati taka is out of ignorance. Go beyond. Get to the ultimate truth of Brahma Satya, and all this taka and mati, they become illusion. Only when you are under influence of ignorance, you utter such words as this is clay and this is money. But Padmalochan wasn't probably aware at that point of time that Sri Ramakrishna had gone much beyond this concept of clay and gold. He had gone much beyond this concept of ignorance. What could I say to that? Sri Ramakrishna says, I couldn't reply to him. He says, what was there for me to tell him that I have gone much beyond this concept, this preliminary concept of taka and mati? What could I say to that? I replied, I don't know all these things, my dear sir, but for my part, I cannot relish such things as money and the like. You might be saying that, yes, money is required and all that, but I cannot say that. I have gone beyond. There was a Pandit, and then Sri Ramakrishna started talking about another Pandit who also was not keen on the idol worshipping or worshipping the chosen deities. He was also in the mode of Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya. There was a Pandit who was tremendously vain, great vanity. He did not believe in the forms of God, but who can understand the inscrutable ways of God, of the divine? This Pandit, great vanity, forms of God are all illusory. Only Brahma Satya, that kind of the knowledge this Pandit had. And then God revealed to him as the primal power. One day God himself revealed to him the Adi Shakti. And then this fellow was berserk. This vision made the Pandit unconscious for a long time. God's ways are inscrutable. No, we cannot comprehend the ways of God. God made this Pandit get into that experience of the primal energy of the Adi Shakti, and having got that experience, this Pandit became unconscious for a long time. After regaining partial consciousness, he uttered only the sound ka, ka, ka. He could not fully pronounce Kali. Having had the vision of Mother Kali, having had the vision of Adi Shakti, this Pandit, who never believed in the forms of gods and goddesses, after he regained consciousness, all he could say was ka, 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 ka. He could not even pronounce Kali, whose vision he had had. So that was how God makes such people of vanity realize one day or other that it is not just formless aspect of the God which is real. Even God with form is real. Even the chosen ideals are real. Even the chosen deities are real. You follow your path of formless aspect, fine. But don't say that the path of God with form is not real. So that is again the teaching Sri Ramakrishna gave us today through these two examples of Pandit Padmalochan and the other Pandit with great vanity who never believed in the forms of gods and goddesses, ultimately had that experience of the vision of Mother Kali. And having had the vision of Mother Kali, this Pandit could never even, after regaining consciousness, he could not even utter full word of "Oh Ma Kali." He could only utter Ka, 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 Ka. Om Namah Shri Bhagavate Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Jai Thakur, Jai Ma, Jai Swamiji.